Product universe here. Donald Trump is the master of the deal and cold calling. He even does it to win for America on the world stage. Watch him explain.
Well, again, prices did go up on some goods in your first administration, washing machines, tires. Will you punish CEOs?
Let me just explain to you. No. You mentioned washing machines. So you look at Whirlpool in Ohio. I got a call from Jim Jordan, one of the greats, congressman from Ohio. And he said, they're going out of business because South Korea and China are dumping washing machines into our country. And I put a 50% tariff on the washing machines coming in from China and South Korea. And Whirlpool and the companies that made washing machines, which are based in Ohio, largely based in Ohio, went through the roof. We saved thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. They were all going out of business because they were dumping washing machines. And when I put the tariffs on, they became successful businesses. No, it didn't. Not only didn't it cost people, it made our country stronger and more powerful, and it kept jobs.
But how do you make sure that consumers don't wind up paying more? Will you punish CEOs who try to pass the cost of tariffs on to their customers?
Well, the market's going to take care of it. I mean, actually, the market takes care of it. And if it doesn't, we adjust it somewhat. But in the case of Whirlpool, or let's say companies that made washing machines, they were all being put out of business by the dumping from, in particular, South Korea and China. And when I put the tariffs on, very substantial tariffs, although peanuts compared to what people do to us, what countries do to us, it became a very, very powerful, successful company. Now, let's say I didn't do the tariffs. It would have gone out of business. You would have lost tens of thousands of jobs, and you don't include that in your equation. No, they make a lot of money. I'll go a step further. Tariffs are going to make our country rich. Tariffs are going to help us pay off $35 trillion in debt. Tariffs are going to make our country safe because China, as an example, doesn't want to play games with us if we're going to do tariffs on them. They don't want to play games. And we have a lot of games being played on us right now.
Well, I think, and that takes me to my next question. Yeah. Are you actually going to impose these tariffs, or are they a negotiating tactic?
Well, I'll give you an example. With Canada, and in particular Mexico, we have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that. I spoke with I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within about 15 seconds after the call ended. Yeah. He was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border, too, a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in, maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%. That's a very substantial tariff. And in the case of, in both cases, but in the case where it was really visible, within 10 minutes after that phone call, we noticed that the people coming across the border, the southern border, having to do with Mexico, they were at a trickle, just a trickle. It was, in fact, I call the border. See, unlike my opponent, I do call the border a lot. And I said, how's the border looking today? They said, there's nobody here. They couldn't believe it. The military stopped these vast groups of people. You know, we call them caravans, but they had caravans of people, and they largely stopped them. Now, they're going to have to continue that, but if they don't continue, and the other thing I told them is no more drugs. And I told that to China, too. I had to deal with President Xi. Had the election been different, I'm going to be very nice because we don't have to get into an argument over 2020. But had the election been different, the result been different, we would have had China giving their maximum penalty, which is the penalty of death, to people that sent fentanyl into this country. But Biden didn't, unfortunately, finish that discussion up. I had an agreement with President Xi, who I got along with very well. We've had communication as recently as this week. and I had communication with him where they were going to give the death penalty to anybody sending drugs into the United States.
This week you had that conversation.
Not that conversation, but I had other conversations. Okay. But in the past, I've had that conversation.
Donald Trump is not afraid to call up world leaders in many of the major countries, such as Canada, Mexico, France, China, and any and all others, to stop them from taking advantage of the United States. And a skill he learned as an expert businessman and as the author of The Art of the Deal, Donald Trump knows how to handle the skilled and smart world leaders who are silently taking advantage of the United States every single day. And in Donald Trump's second term in office as president, after the 4 disgraceful years of Joe Biden's presidency, Donald Trump will put an end to these secret games these countries have been playing with the United States. The secret and ever so silent game of ripping off the United States. He will call these world leaders and these countries on the phone out of the blue at any hour of the day or night to stop them from their continued ripoff of America, just as he said in this interview, as when he called up Xi Jinping and the Mexican president and other world leaders. He will make deals in the best interest of the United States, and if they don't agree, they will have to pay the price of a huge, overwhelming tariff, an overwhelming tariff which will eventually make them come around to what we want. It is about time that the United States gets money back from those who have been taking our money for years, to stand up for the American taxpayer and the everyday American, to put America first and to not put America last, to win again, something that hasn't happened in a while. Donald Trump calling up world leaders out of the blue to stand up for the United States and the American people is something everyone can support. We need a president who is willing to fight for the United States, someone who is willing to go to bat for the United States, to win deals, to win peace, to win prosperity, and to win any victory that comes our way. A president who is not afraid to win, a president who is not afraid to fight. Donald Trump will be this president in his second term, as the people of the United States have overwhelmingly elected him to a second term because he will put America first. This interview shows the trait that you want in a president, that he is willing to call up anyone at any time if it means his country will become better because of it. This deserves to be shared because this shows that Donald Trump means business. But that's just my 2 cents, and you're entitled to your 2 cents. If you want, share your opinion in the comments below, as all viewpoints are welcome. If you enjoyed this informational and educational video, then give the video a like and turn on my channel notifications so that you'll be notified the next time I release a new video. Thanks for watching. God bless you, and God bless America.